a fresh helping of the Rob Dibble Show.
He has dibs. You respect dibs, don't you?
I'm not a barbarian.
First Dibs question today, sponsored by Northeast Men's Health. That's right. Let's talk some low T men. How do you know you got low T? Well, maybe you had a decrease in your sex drive. How about you put on some extra pounds all of a sudden you didn't know where it came from? Maybe you go to the gym, you're less productive. Maybe you're just less productive on a whole. How about poor sleep habits, waking up in a fog? I think that's the worst thing, is possibly waking up in a fog, feeling sad and depressed. Well, go to northeastmenshealth.com. Take the low T quiz today on their website. It's pretty simple. It's 10 questions, yes, no answers. Going to take you 2 minutes. And then if you think you have low T, then you're going to schedule a consult with a licensed medical provider at Northeast Men's Health. You're going to review your results of a blood test and discuss your options. If you go forward with testosterone treatment, which is very effective, they've had thousands of happy customers. Your appointment is free. So call 800-930-5956 today. Go to northeastmenshealth.com for that low T quiz. Does Shohei have to win the World Series to prove he's the greatest of all time?
Or just he's great? Like greatest,
he already is great.
Greatest of all time, yes. I think he does.
First of all, it's tough to be the greatest of all time when you started it with the Angels and they were a horrible team.
Yeah.
But as
Babe
far
Ruth started with the Red Sox.
But they won championships.
I know, they were different Red Sox.
And they were beating your Cubs back then, by the way.
And there was only 8 teams.
Yeah. No, there were 16 teams.
Well, it's not 30.
But that being said, the travel sucked too back then. All you did was take a train everywhere. And I think there was nobody past St. Louis. I think St. Louis was the farthest west city. But getting back to Shohei.
Good point.
Listen, Shohei, he's from another culture. He comes here. Obviously, I'm going to bring Ippy into this. He had a guy that kind of sold him a bill of goods and, was showing him kind of one side of what possibly could be. Obviously, the back 10 years of his career could be the greatest 10 years, better than Ichiro. So Ichiro came over here. He has such respect for Ichiro, kind of like setting a precedent of, I think Ichiro's a Hall of Famer over here. Getting 3,000 hits in our major leagues, playing the way he played. Now you have a guy that's a two-way player. He comes over here as a pitcher, gets injured, comes back, continues to pitch well, winning MVP awards on a horrible team. Now he goes to an all-star team, the LA Dodgers, and he really separates himself from Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts and Max Muncy, all-stars, and really separates himself from the rest of the herd in Major League Baseball. It's basically Aaron Judge and Shohei as far as the guys that you're like, what they're doing, nobody else can do. And then he pulls off this year of the 50-50. He might do 55-55. But now he's at a different level of bringing attention to the sport as an ambassador. Remember the All-Star game a couple years ago? I will never forget it. This guy had to do everything.
Yeah.
We want you to start as a pitcher.
Yep.
We want you to basically lead off the game. You're going to be the ambassador for the All-Star game.
Was he in the home run derby?
Yeah, he was in the home run derby. We're going to put everything on your plate. All he did was smile and do everything do it
right.
as classy as anybody's ever done it. Like I just told you the Rob Lowe story, where this guy has so much respect for baseball, way more than a lot of the American-born players. This guy, he's got such tradition in his blood, puts on his full uniform to take pictures with somebody that's famous in our culture, with Rob Lowe. That's how much respect I have for Shohei. So it's not just the numbers he puts up; it's everything he does. The total package that is Shohei makes him one of the greatest that ever played.
Yeah, I think of Ichiro first and foremost,
Yep.
because he didn't win a World Series.
Nope.
And, he won an MVP 2001, and he is known in –
And let me stop you there. Got the most votes for the All-Star game, was the MVP of the American League that year. Had 242 hits the first year he came here. I was the first person to belittle this guy and be like, I poo-pooed him.
Right.
There's no way this guy can play our game. He's small, doesn't hit for power. How's he even going to play defense? Had a rocket launcher in right field.
And he's known as great. And he is known as one
of the greatest that's ever played the game. Forget where he comes from.
Right.
But internationally, he was Elvis. He has a museum in Japan. He comes over here. He's got one name. He's like Madonna or Cher. He comes over here, and it's just like you don't even know his last name. By the way, it's Suzuki. And he totally changed the way we view Japanese players. And so Shohei, loving him and idolizing him, and the way they are both consummate professionals on and off the field is good for the game of baseball.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's so many guys that have won multiple World Series that can't even hang with Shohei and what he's done in the game of baseball. So, I think it would be great. I think it would be a cherry on top. I think you really can't start saying he's better than Babe Ruth when he wins a World Series. But as of now, he's still one of the greatest to play the game.
Absolutely. And the rest is yet to come as the Dodgers right now have 94 wins. Continue to play great baseball behind Shohei.
Do it in the playoffs,
When we come
Shohei.
back, though, we'll talk about the W live from Sliders in Southington.